spoke about corruption here, but I think that is our biggest challenge as a country.
Yes, yes, yes.
The reason why we are not, we have a lot of resources lost in between is because of the system itself is corrupt.
It
we
is
all
corrupt,
know that.
yes, yes.
We have seen the audit reports coming out recently. But things that also encourage corruption is low wages and how people, there's no incentive for government workers. How do you plan to handle corruption, but also people that are working in government? How do you plan to uplift their living standard and give them a better pay wage? That way, they will know that they have to deliver based on performance, but also that will at least lessen. We cannot completely eradicate corruption, but at least we can also lessen it a little.
Yes, I think to be fair, they need sustainable wage.
Sustainable wage.
Especially those working, the civil servants.
Civil servants.
You cannot pay people money that is not enough to cover their transportation and expect them not to take bribes.
Yeah.
We are deceiving ourselves.
Yeah.
Let's give them sustainable wage, but it will come with a lot of stipulations. We can even give them subsidized housing.
Yeah.
But you must deliver to the Gambian people. It will come with stipulations and integrity. You have to deliver. You have to adhere to high moral standard. Gambians should be able to look at any civil servant, serving them with integrity, because that's where the respect comes. A lot of our, immigration officers, police officers are not respected because people don't even see them as people that uphold the law. And they're part of our judicial branch, right? They're the ones enforcing the law. Look at our legal system. So our judges, right? So these are people that should be incorruptible. They should be there to enforce the law. And if you look at our agenda, we do talk about good governance, accountability. So we have to pay them sustainable wage. For some of the officers, we can even provide them, subsidized housing, but we must hold them, accountable. Yes, there's no excuse. And we need to create an independent commission that is non-partisan, that is going to monitor every sector from top to bottom. And if their finding shows or anybody is found to abuse the system or fraud, the laws are there to make sure they pay the price.
What kind of system, what kind of government are we looking at when Gambia Golden Era Party is elected? Is it going to be a large government or like a scaled government? Because for you to be able to, because sometimes we're told our system is bloated with a lot of people. And if you have a lot of people in the civil service, how are you able to properly cater for them? What kind of government are you?
No, I think our government, I don't think our government is going to be scaled. We don't need a bloated government where, just, because here's the thing, the government can't create jobs. Let's be honest here. It's so many little the government can do. That's why we need to empower the private sector. The Gambians themselves. We need to uplift them. So that way they can create industries, like the agro business is one, the recycling business, waste to value is one. There are different ways you can create business, even without foreign investment. Foreign investment is good, but that's another topic. So we need to empower people to get, to lead these industries. We have a lot of diasporans that have successful businesses. They work in corporate America. Come back home with the expertise. We can help you integrate into the system and make it easy for you to grow your business here. These are the agenda we have, because diaspora plays such a big role in our economy, and they're not included when it comes to policies. So now we're saying, because there's a chunk of people in the diaspora that want to come home, but definitely not to this Gambia, with no amenities, with no good healthcare. When they already have that there, they've already worked so hard. Why would they come here? So not everybody want to sacrifice. Some people are okay. They worked hard to get themselves out of poverty. That's what it is. And you can't blame them.
You can't.
It would take more selfless people to be like, you know what, I will take the risk.
And the first advice I give my friends from the diaspora when they want to come to the Gambia, I tell them, you're going to have to understand you're coming from a whole different system. This is not a system where when you come, you file a document somewhere,
Yes.
the document works. No.
No, no.
You have to follow those documents from office to office.
Yes.
So coming into Gambia and where you are,
Yeah, it's
a
vastly
whole
different. Yeah. And that system needs to be broken. We need a working system.
Yeah,
where
we don't have a working system.
Yeah, where people can go to a website, public website, know what the requirements are, and then, you know, everything is digitized. You know, we shouldn't still be having this manual collection of, you know, revenue. Everything should be digitized, and it goes straight into the government coffers without no middleman. So we're going to have a scaled government where we don't have too many bloated people.
Yeah.
You know, so those excess people can go into the private sector, depending on their skill set or what they want to do. We can now empower them to go into the. But now the ones that we've scaled down, they're going to be there to represent Gambia well. You know, because we can't have a nation where you go to government offices 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, people are still eating breakfast, blowing attire. That's so unprofessional.
Yeah.
And it looks bad when foreigners come in, they look, wow, this is the Ministry of Information. You should be in the office working. You have so many files in your office and you're here talking. If you look at their productivity of the day, they haven't worked for more than 3 hours.
Yeah.
You know, so we need to digitize, we need, you know, so, you know, when we do our reforms, right, we need to make sure we're holding those people accountable. They should know they're representing, you know, Gambia to the world. It's not just Gambians. You know, when foreigners come here, they should give Gambians the respect that they deserve. Like, wow, this is a working country. Everybody's professional, they're delivering. So this is the mindset, you know, that we're doing. But we have to scale back and then, you know, push more Gambians into entrepreneurship. You know, and the goal for entrepreneurship is not just to make money, but create a self-reliant Gambia. A Gambia that doesn't depend on funds coming from World Bank. You know, we cannot be a nation of debt. And then all these loans we're taking, we can't even service them. You know, we're struggling right now. They're struggling right now. Because they've wasted so much money. They've enriched themselves so much. What's going to happen is they're going to start increasing the taxes to offset all this. More than $50 billion is through this report have shown. That's 2021 to 2023. We haven't seen 2024 and 2025. So how do you think they're going to offset this? They're going to have to increase our taxes. We're going to have to pay more for cash power. The country is already hard. So by the time you increase taxes, you know, we already have hyperinflation in the Gambia. It's even going to be worse. People are not going to be able to afford anything. But they will have no choice too. Even the economists will tell them, hey, we are at that point now, it's already red. We'll just have to find revenue by increasing taxes, making people pay more at the ports, everything. And then when you do that, if I have to pay more to get my container out of the ports, I'm a businessman. I have to charge you more. So all that cost is passed to the consumer again. And then we're back to the same problem. And then the money will eventually lose value. So it's like the cycle just continues. And it's sad. We cannot just let that happen.
We cannot let that happen. So let's talk about your running.
Sorry, I forgot to talk about enforcement. So you cannot, yes, you want to scale down. Yes, you want to digitize the system. But you have to be able to enforce the existing law. So we need a reform when it comes to, you know, enforcement. And everybody that is swearing an oath to be part of the government need to be ready for that job. Yes, because when there will be no exceptions. There will be no shortcuts. If you're caught stealing, embezzling, you're going to face the law. And then you're going to be answerable to the Gambian people. So enforcement is key.
A scenario where people are found wanting in one area, they're promoted and they're taken for
that's ridiculous.
Because that's what we're saying.
So that's basically rewarding them. It's like, oh, you've done a good job here. Now go over here.
Let's go to the,
no, that's not going to happen. You know, our reform would focus specifically on that. And we need to create an independent, non-partisan commission that doesn't belong to any party, whether you GEP, nobody cares about that. Are you doing your job? Good. If you're not, you're caught embezzling or money laundering or whatever that case is, you should be held accountable. So this is going to be a non-partisan institution, and every sector of the government would have to report and make sure enforcement is happening. We're protecting the vulnerable Gambians. You know? So we need to have independent institutions that are going to go in there and enforce the law.